There's a stack of letters on the table, words I never found the courage to send. Coffee cooling in the morning sunlight. Some things end before they can begin. I fold them up and put them in a drawer, next to photographs and dried lavender. Every word was true when I was writing, but the morning light just makes them blur. Letters never sent, hearts never spoken, moments in between that we left open. Still I find you in the soft piano sound. Letters never sent, still laying around. I watch the steam rise from my second coffee, trace the rim of something I can't name. The radio is playing something gentle, and for a moment everything's the same. The words were there, but they got lost in silence, like a melody that fades into the air. Some letters aren't meant to reach a mailbox, they're just proof that someone once cared. Letters never sent, hearts never spoken, moments in between that we left open. Still I find you in the soft piano sound. Letters never sent, still laying around. Maybe one day I'll write a different ending. Maybe one day I'll let you know. But for now I'll let the music carry all the things I still can't let go. Letters never sent, hearts never spoken. Still I find you in the morning light, soft and quiet, gently broken. Letters never sent, and that's alright. I always take the corner booth at closing, where the light is soft and no one looks my way. I order something warm and watch the couples pass beneath the awning every day. The waiter knows my name and what I'm drinking. He sets it down without me having to ask. Here among the quiet conversations, I take off every little mask. My corner booth, my small cathedral, a table just for one, and that's enough. The corner booth where I can be no one, a refuge made of coffee, light and love. I because the story holds me tight, but because the act of turning pages feels like something real on Monday nights. There't a crack along the window to my left side, a woman always knitting by the door. I've memorized the faces of the strangers who come here seeking something more. My corner booth, my small cathedral, a table just for one, and that's enough. The corner booth where I can be no one, a refuge made of coffee, light and love. Some people need the mountains and the ocean. Some people need the crowd to feel alive. But all I need is this small wooden table and the sound of jazz to help me thrive. My corner booth in the fading evening, where the music wraps around the end of day. I'll stay here till they ask me to be leaving, then slowly find my ordinary way. The rain has been here for a week now, gray and soft and gentle on the glass. I've been watching from the cafe window, waiting for the season to pass. There's a sweetness to this in-between time, when the world slows down and holds its breath. Everything washed clean, quietly gleaming, even in this temporary rest. Rainy season blues, they're not really blues, just a softer shade of ordinary days. Rainy season blues, they're the in-between, where the world gets lost in its own haze. My umbrella dripped beside the doorway, left a little puddle on the mat. The barista smiled and handed me my order. We don't need to talk much more than that. Outside, the children splash through silver puddles, and the gutters sing their rushing song. I have nowhere I need to be this morning, nowhere I've been waiting to belong. Rainy season blues, they're not really blues, just a softer shade of ordinary days. Rainy season blues, they're the in-between, where the world gets lost in its own haze. Let it rain a little longer, let the gray sky keep its ground. Sometimes gentle is much stronger than the sun ever allowed. Rainy season, you can stay a while with your slow drip, soft soaked pace. I'll just sit here with my warm cup, finding beauty in this gray and tender place. A sparrow landed on the window ledge just past morning, 9:15. It looked at me the way small birds do, as if the whole world wasn't on the line. I set my coffee down and didn't move, not wanting to break whatever spell was cast. The piano played low somewhere behind me, and the moment felt too good to last. A sparrow on the sill, a quiet miracle. The little things that fill a morning well. A sparrow on the sill, unhurried, beautiful, the kind of grace that words can barely tell. It tilted its head left, then tilted right, then lifted off before I'd blinked. The cafe filled with ordinary laughter, while I just sat there softly on the brink of something I can't name but always feel. When Tuesday mornings slow enough to see the way the light falls different on the table, the way the world keeps giving gifts for free. A sparrow on the sill, a quiet miracle. The little things that fill a morning well. A sparrow on the sill, unhurried, beautiful, the kind of grace that words can barely tell. I wrote it in my journal later, just a sparrow, just a moment, just a ledge. But there are tiny holy things that happen right here on this ordinary edge. Sparrow on the sill, and then it's over. The morning keeps on rolling past the square, but I still feel it like a small reminder that magic doesn't always warn you it'll be there. take my coffee, 2 sugars, no cream. A little sweet to start the waking day. I've been doing this for longer than I know. In all the places life has sent my way, there's a ritual in the morning quiet, the kettle and the curl of rising steam, 2 sugars and whatever, I'm still hoping, the simplest kind of morning time routine. 2 sugars and a dream, that's all I need to start the day with something soft and warm. 2 sugars and a dream, a gentle creed, a little sweet before the daily storm. I have a notebook full of half-made plans, a list of things I swear I'll do someday, cities I have yet to find my way to, melodies I haven't learned to play. But here inside this morning cup of sweetness, every future feels a little near. 2 sugars and the possibility that something beautiful is coming here. 2 sugars and a dream, that's all I need to start the day with something soft and warm. 2 sugars and a dream, a gentle creed, a little sweet before the daily storm. Not every day I wake up feeling ready, not every morning greets me like a friend, but there's always coffee, always hope, always something waiting just around the bend. 2 sugars in my cup, 2 hands around the warmth. The dream is small, but that is fine by me. 2 sugars and a day worth showing up for. 2 sugars and the best that it could be. I took the long way home again today, past the park and down the riverside. The leaves were turning in the late October, and the evening air felt good to feel inside. Sometimes I don't want to arrive too quickly, let the destination wait a little while. I walk a little slower than I need to, and I let the city fill my miles. The long way home, the long way home, through the back streets and the lamplight and the leaves. The long way home, the long way home, where the evening air is just the thing I need. I stopped and bought a coffee for the journey, held it in both hands against the cold, listened to a musician on the corner playing something ancient ancient, something old. There's so much beauty in the ordinary. Sidewalk cracks and shop lights coming on. The way a stranger smiles without a reason. The way the day keeps going till it's gone. The long way home. The long way home. Through the back streets and the lamplight and the leaves. The long way home. The long way home. Where the evening air is just the thing I need. I'm not avoiding anything, I'll tell you. I just love the feel of walking slow. The world is always rushing past its moments, and I want everyone before I go. The long way home. The long way down each quiet, familiar street. The long way home, my favorite way. When the day and evening softly meet. My footsteps on the cobblestones at 7. The same cafe at the end of the lane. The smell of bread and coffee through the doorway. The same grace greeting me again. There's something in the unevenness of cobblestones that makes you pay attention to the ground. You can't walk fast, you can't walk without noticing each ordinary ancient stone-cut sound. Cobblestone morning, lamplit and golden, finding my footing along the old way. Cobblestone morning, worn but not broken, just like me at the start of the day. The cats are out, they sit on window ledges, watching me with their unimpressed eyes. I greet them anyway, I always greet them. They never do reply. A woman hangs her laundry in the courtyard. The radio is playing something sweet. The morning smells of someone else's baking, and the sun just clearing up the street. Cobblestone morning, lamplit and golden, finding my footing along These stones were laid by hands before my grandmother carried rain and shoes and centuries. And here they are, still holding steady under all my small and daily histories. Cobblestone morning, I'll be back tomorrow. Same cafe, same lane, same golden light. Some mornings are so ordinary, so beloved, they feel like getting everything exactly right. I wore my dress, the color of cream today, the one I keep for mornings such as this. When the light comes in at just the angle that fills the room with something like a wish. I made my coffee and I stood there watching the way the shadows moved across the floor. In the morning there is something uncomplicated before the day requires anything more. A dress the color of cream and nothing else, just the morning and the music and the light. A dress the color of cream and I am held in this quiet, soft, unhurried moment, right? I let my hair fall loose around my shoulders. No mirror, no appointments, no demands. Just me and all the stillness of the morning, holding something warm between my hands. There's a kind of beauty in the undone hours before we shape ourselves for the outside world, before the day takes us in all directions, before the ordinary life unfurls. A dress the color of cream and nothing else, just the morning and the music and the light. A dress the color of cream and I am held in this quiet, soft, unhurried moment, right? We don't need much to feel at peace. Sometimes a simple morning, simple fabric, simple grace. The soft things in our lives will hold us gently when we let them find their natural place. A dress the color of cream, a cup of something warm, a morning unremarkable and lovely, safe and soft before the coming storm. I wake before the flowers open up, before the bees have found the garden yet. The sky is that soft gray that has no name. The air is filled with damp and cool and wet. I make the coffee in the earliest quiet, when even birds have barely cleared their throats. And in this space between the night and morning, the world is nothing but these gentle notes. Before the flowers open, before the day begins, there's this silence like a held breath on the air. Before the flowers open in the softest light, there is room enough to lay your worries bare. The garden waits out there in morning shadow. The roses with their tightly folded heads. By 9 o'clock they'll all be white and golden, but right now they're still warm in their small beds. I love the world before it's fully woken, before it knows what kind of day it'll be. There's a tenderness in half-light and in silence that the busy afternoon can't give to me. Before the flowers open, before the day begins, there's this silence like a held breath on the air. Before the flowers open in the softest light, there is room enough to lay your worries bare. Each morning is a gift we keep forgetting. Each dawn is something holy if we look, before the world demands its full attention. Let the quiet be your favorite book. Before the flowers open, I am here in the gray and tender morning space. Before the flowers open, soft and clear, finding rest in this sun-petaled place. I always take the last train home on Fridays, watch the platform blur to neon smears. I've been sitting in this cafe too long again, making friends with what remains of the year. The check was paid an hour ago already, but the music keeps me just a little more. There's something comfortable about delaying the walk to find the door. The last train home, I know I'll make make it barely. One more song before I have to leave. The last train home through all the city's darkness. One more breath of what I still believe. The city at this hour has a different feeling. The streets are quieter, the lights are kind. People walking slowly, people leaning into the end of what the day had lined. I know this rhythm, and I know this longing, the bittersweet of Friday turning late. I'll be back here next week, same corner table, same cafe, same beautiful, same fate. The last train home, I know I'll make it barely. One more song before I have to leave. The last train home through all the city's darkness. One more breath of what I still believe. And the jazz will play without me when I'm gone, and the room will fill with other lonely beautiful, and someone else will sit here feeling moved by the music and the night and all its pull. Last train home, rushing now through stations, past the blur of every ordinary light. Last train home, carrying me gently back to sleep and back to Friday night. Just one more cup, I tell myself again. Just one more song before I pack my things. The cafe is not hurrying to close me out. The evening has a different kind of wings. I've always been the one who stays too long, who watches the last candle flicker low, who doesn't know exactly where she's going, who isn't quite prepared to go. Linger a little, let the music breathe. Linger a little, longer than you planned. Linger a little, in the space between everything you've done and everything you can. The waiter refills without me asking twice. He has the kind of patience I admire. The room has thinned to just a few of us, the ones who never know when to retire. There's a kind of people who were born to stay, to drink one more and say one last goodbye. We're not avoiding anything we promise, we're just not ready yet to call it night. Linger a little, let the music breathe. Linger a little, longer than you planned. Linger a little, in the space between everything you've done and everything you can. Life is made of lingering and leaving. Every ending has a little grace. Some of us take twice as long with both, but we end up in the same beautiful place. Linger a little, just a little longer. One more note before the evening ends. Linger a little, soft and slow and steady, until the world outside comes back around again. Today I have no plans, and that's on purpose. No agenda written in my book. Just a morning with some coffee and some quiet, and a window where I like to look. The nothing that I mean is not an emptiness. It's a fullness that the rushing days don't hold. My favorite kind of nothing is a precious thing, a gentle antidote to growing old. My favorite kind of nothing, warm and golden, where the hours move like honey through the air. My favorite kind of nothing, soft and open, a day that's filled with almost nothing there. I read a little, then I stop and stare out at the street below the apartment wall. I think of things and then I think of nothing. I don't do very much at all. There was a time I couldn't sit in stillness. I needed noise to fill up every crack. But now I've learned the music of the quiet. of the morning tenders who know the art of simply coming back. My favorite kind of nothing, slow and tender, just the music and the light and me. My favorite kind of nothing, whole and simple. My favorite kind of how to just be. There's a place I know beside the old canal, where two willow trees lean in to touch. Their curtain of branches hanging down to water. I don't come here often, but I come here much. Mornings there are silver green and gentle. The ducks move quietly through the reeds, and there's a bench that someone painted blue once that gives me everything I need. Where the willows meet and touch the water, where the morning light turns everything to gold. Where the willows meet, I find my breathing, and the world is sweet and not so old. I bring my coffee in a thermos sometimes and sit there in the early morning cool. The city is just one street over from me, but here I'm somehow out of all its rules. The willows don't require my explanation. They don't ask me what I'm planning to do. They simply let me sit here in their shadow until I find my way back through. Where the willows meet and touch the water, where the morning light turns everything to gold. Where the willows meet, I find my breathing, and the world is sweet and not so old. Everyone deserves a place like this one, a corner of the world that holds them close, where the noise becomes a distant kind of memory, and you find the peace you wanted most. Where the willows meet, I'll bring you someday. To the bench, the ducks, the silver morning air, where the willows meet, no need for saying anything, just Just come and sit and feel the quiet there. I hum a little melody while walking, one that has no name and no refrain. I made it up this Tuesday in the kitchen. It'll never come exactly back again. I never wrote it down and I'm not bothered. Some songs are meant for just the moment's need. A song for no one, sung by me for nothing. The quietest kind of small and private creed. A song for no one, just for walking home. A song for no one, just because I can. A melody that lives and dies in a moment, gone before it ever had a plan. I sang it in the cafe this morning softly, under my breath between the sips of tea. The woman at the table next to me smiled once. I don't know if she heard, but she heard me. There's something in the unperformed that's lovely. The music that you make because it's yours. Not every song needs an audience or ending. Not every note needs opening doors. A song for no one, just for walking home. A song for no one, just because I can. A melody that lives and dies in a moment, gone before it ever had a plan. Let yourself be music sometimes, without a stage or crowd or reason why. The best songs are the ones nobody captures, the ones that rise and quietly say goodbye. A song for no one, something sweet and private, just a little joy between the streets. A song for no one, still as warm as sunshine. A song for no one, nothing but complete. There's a window at the cafe facing westward, where the twilight comes in softer than the day. I always find it when the sky turns cobalt. I call this hour the blue hour, come what may. The lights inside the cafe shift to amber against the indigo outside the glass. And for a few brief minutes both are equal, before the darkness comes and night holds fast. The Blue Owl Cafe, where day meets evening, where the light can't quite decide which way to go. The Blue Hour Cafe, between and dreaming, in the softest place the city has to show. The pianist has been here since the morning. She plays a different tempo now, more slow, as if she too has felt the subtle shifting of the hour we both know how to know. I order something warm and watch the colors do their gentle daily fading art, and everything that troubled me at noontime seems much smaller here inside my heart. The Blue Hour Cafe, where day meets evening, where the light can't quite decide which way to go. Oh, the Blue Hour Cafe, between and dreaming, in the softest place the city has to show. There are some hours in the day worth naming, and the Blue Hour is the one I choose. It asks you nothing, offers you everything, the perfect light to lose your daytime blues. Blue Hour Cafe, evening finding morning, in the amber indigo in between. Blue Hour Cafe, daily transformation, the most beautiful the day has ever been. My boots are worn in just the way I like them, soft along the heel and broken in. I've walked so many mornings in these streets that every cobblestone feels like a friend. The leather holds the shape of my own walking, the history of 10,000 ordinary days. And when I put them on each cafe morning, I know exactly how to find my way. Worn in boots and cobblestones beneath me, the familiar path to somewhere I belong. Worn in boots and all the streets that know me, walking slow and humming half a song. The market on the corner opens early, and the flower seller waves without a word. I never buy the flowers, but I smell them, and that small grace is always what I need. There's a beauty in the deeply ordinary, the roots that your body knows by heart, the way your feet know where the good café is, without your mind having to play a part. Worn in boots and cobblestones beneath me, the familiar path to somewhere I belong. Worn in boots and all the streets that know me, walking slow and humming half a song. Broken in and better for the wearing, some things need time before they feel like yours. The streets, the boots, the mornings and the music, the life you slowly learn to walk toward. Worn in boots and cobblestones and morning, the soft percussion of my daily walk. Worn in boots and me and all this quiet. Sometimes living doesn't need more talk. By 10 o'clock the morning has a different feeling. The first rush over the cafe, a little warm. The chairs that were all empty now have stories. The table has been settled into form. I came in with the early ones at 7, when the air was sharp and everything was new. But now I'm still here on the other side of morning, when the light has shifted into softer blue. The other side of morning, midday coming, the sweet spot where the rush has settled down. The other side of morning, soft and golden, the quiet between the cities turns around. The couple by the window shares a pastry. The student's given up on her essay for now. The barista finally takes a breath and stretches. Someone hums. I'm not quite sure just how. There's a slower sweetness to the later morning, when everyone has found their settled space, when the cafe feels like a small community, a familiar, softly warming place, the other side of morning. Midday coming, the sweet spot where the rush has settled down. The other side of morning, soft and golden, the quiet between the cities turns around. The other side of morning is my favorite, when the day is open and the coffee's strong, when the world is neither rushing nor quite resting, and the morning stretches warm and long. The other side of morning, stay a little longer. The day is young, but not as young as dawn. The other side of morning, slow and tender. One more cup before the afternoon moves on. The radio was playing something I once knew, a song from somewhere in my childhood years. I stopped what I was doing in the kitchen and stood there with the morning in my ears. It carried all the summers I'd forgotten, the car ride and the window open wide, my grandmother's voice singing just below it, all the people living somewhere deep inside, an old song on the radio, and there I am, 15 years ago, and standing in the light, an old song on the radio, and time collapses, and everything that once was is still right. I let the coffee cool a little longer. I stood there till the final chord had played, and when it ended I felt something settle, like a debt I didn't know I had been paid. We carry songs the way we carry people, inside the rooms our memories have made, and when they rise again out of the static, we fall in love with everything we've saved. An old song on the radio, and there I am, 15 years ago, and standing in the light, an old song on the radio, and the song for finding its way through. Some mornings are just music and remembrance, and letting something old feel whole and new. An old song on the radio, I'll keep it somewhere near the surface of my mind, so the next time morning comes in playing, I'll be ready for what memory I find. Late afternoon, the garden starts to quiet. The bees returning slowly to their place. I sit here on the step with my cold coffee and watch them navigating through the space. There's something in their late day coming homeward that settles something restless in my chest. They've been out all day in fields and flowers, and now they know exactly where to rest. When the bees come home, the day is rounding toward the softer, cooler end of things. When the bees come home, the light goes golden, and the evening starts to spread its wings. The lavender is leaning in the late sun, the shadows long and purple on the ground. I should go inside and start the evening, but I'm not quite ready yet to turn around. The day has been so full of regular moments that I almost missed the whole of what it gave. But here at the end, with all the bees returning, I catch it like a letter someone saved. When the bees come home, the day is rounding toward the softer, cooler end of things. When the bees come home, the light goes golden, and the evening starts to spread its wings. We are all just workers in the morning, gathering what the day has set aside. But the evening is for coming home and resting, for setting down the day we've carried wide. When the bees come home, I'll still be sitting, watching the lavender my own way back through the garden with ease. The gentlest thing this morning was the coffee, the way the steam rose in a steady curl. The gentlest thing was how the light was landing on the simple edges of the world. I've been thinking about what asks the least of us, what soothes without demanding to be known. The gentlest things are rarely in the big things, they're in the quiet hours we spend alone. The gentlest thing, a morning without pressure. The gentlest thing, a moment held just right. The gentlest thing is also the most lasting, a soft and unremarkable delight. The gentlest thing was how she passed me slowly, the woman with the dog and yellow bag. She looked at me and gave that kind of half smile that doesn't need a reason or a tag. I collect these little visitations like pressed flowers kept between the pages, the gentlest things that slip into a Tuesday and stay there warming all the coming ages. The gentlest thing, a morning without pressure. The gentlest thing, a moment held just right. The gentlest thing is also the most lasting, a soft and unremarkable delight. We've been taught to look for the spectacular, the headline and the landmark and the view. But gentleness is where the world is honest, in the smallest things that find their way to you. The gentlest thing, a song that ends here softly. The gentlest thing, a day that asked for nothing. The gentlest thing is what remains tomorrow, after all the rest of it has come undone.